going on?
What up? It's Dino.
It's Mecha.
And Mecha with his pipes there singing.
Damn.
Yeah.
Am I singing?
Yeah, that was you. And there's Green.
Yeah, that was me.
So we're here for another week.
Another week.
Happy Monday.
So what's going on? It's Broken Play once again.
Once again.
We're gonna be doing a little recap of the week.
And we're gonna start off with a recap of Let's Talk About It from last week. Boom.
Do it now.
First of all,
I love
we
when
only
I run
did-
over here. Like he's so mad. He's so pissed because he's trying to.
we only did 3 games this week.
Yeah.
And I felt like that was enough. Each one had enough information and topics that I didn't think we needed to do 2 more, and they're good enough. So
Yeah.
a recap would be ELEX,
Yeah.
Call of Duty, World at War,
Mhm.
and Destiny 2.
And Metro. I want to talk about Metro a little bit.
We didn't do Metro. That's this week.
Oh, dang it.
Yeah,
I'm pretty excited for that one.
we'll talk about it later.
Okay. All right. Come in.
But ELEX. We'll start off with ELEX. Why are we starting with ELEX?
What?
Because we got the most response from that.
Dude, actually, yeah, and I kind of want to talk about that. You know, for some of the people that watch it, I did watch the video all the way through, so I do see your
POV.
yeah, your concerns onto how long we talked about the HUD.
Yeah.
I mean, we did talk about it a little long.
Yeah.
I would assume I did. I mean, to be honest, towards the end of the video, there's a lot of good things that I do like I like about the game.
And we did say that towards the end. And I feel like
It was overshadowed.
it was. And
Yeah.
people always remember the negative over the positive.
Yeah.
But
and
I will say this. For the things that we said is nothing compared to what a lot of other people have been saying.
Yeah, that's true. Actually, you were telling me about that, about how much we actually or how much people were complaining about
Yeah.
it. Whereas, to be honest, I didn't have a lot of complaints other than I mean, I thought the game, and I'll say it again. I thought the HUD was just poorly made
Yeah.
for a game that could have a real potential. And you know, you name me a game that has a HUD that is crappy and has been really popular. There's none. There's no
It's
game.
difficult. But, so, because of all this, I guess, questionable controversy with this game,
Mhm.
I decided to, I
Kinda
have
research
I
it.
have to research this.
Kinda
What's the history? What's going on?
Kind of go deep.
So let's
You know,
give you
that-
guys. It's time for the facts.
Go deep.
This is gonna be a new
This is
segment.
this is called time
Time for the facts.
or Mecha is good. It's called Go Deep.
Go deep. Time for the facts.
Don't
What do you
go
what do you do
deep.
to that guy?
So please don't judge me for what I do to this guy, because I needed the money.
So, ELEX is being developed by a German team called Piranha Bytes with a Y. I liked how they did that. And they have created
What is that, Piranha?
Piranha Bytes.
Why is it a Y? Oh, I like it. Okay.
So with that team, they have around 20 years experience. They created a franchise that was called Gothic.
Mhm.
They created 1, 2, and 3, and it's apparently an open RPG, and I can only assume it's very Gothic themed. ELEX has been in development for about 2.5 years.
Or it's secretly Gotham.
Secretly Gotham. No, Gotham apparently there's similarities because I had to look up a little bit about Gotham, and there's fractions that are in Gotham, but ELEX has its own style of fractions, but they're not as permanent and as controversy for the game compared to how the Gotham franchise was. So they want to call this a new type of franchise because they keep saying it's science fiction and fantasy RPG, which they keep referring to as science fantasy.
So they're going for that new IP.
New IP, new genre.
I guess so.
Genre?
Science. Well.
Yeah.
Well, so this is kind of like well, if we're gonna go with new genre, I mean, they need to know that there are a couple things already out that are like this.
Yeah, I mean, I thought they were MMOs, but anyway.
I think they're just happy with their game.
Yeah, so the story goes that there's this planet called Magellan, and there's this meteor that crashes down and basically makes the planet into a clusterfuck, and it releases this new element called ELEX. Sounds like Avatar. And ELEX is actually the main source that you need to collect as a character to basically level up. And there's 4 classes, and you can be 3 out of the 4. The fourth one is called elves, and they're the bad guys. That's all I really got from them. The other 3 that you can choose as, there's berserker, which basically are the nature lovers. Mother Nature is the key. Then there's the clerics, which are the techno freaks. Think of them as the Brotherhood of Steel of the group. And the outlaws, which are the free spirit drug users. For some reason, the drug use. Down there. Yeah, I see that. For some reason, the drug use is like very referenced to the outlaw. But I think I might be an outlaw because they don't care about the fractions or their gods. They just want to enjoy life and be cool. Mm-hmm. But after that, other facts about it is that they say it's got about 80 hours of gameplay, 300,000 words of dialogue, and
hold on, 80 hours of gameplay. So does that include just like, do they mean like straight campaign?
Straight campaign. No, with side quests, it's.
So there is side quests?
Yeah, there's side stuff.
Okay.
And they said there's a lot of stuff in this open world that they created that you'll just get distracted with. An interesting style that the game will play as. You'll start off in a fantasy-like setting, then it will slowly turn to a Mad Max style, and then the game will shift to sci-fi.
Did they say Mad Max?
Yeah.
They did?
They kept saying Mad Max.
Really? Okay. Because I didn't see Mad Max in there.
That's the Outlaws. That's actually a new, faction that they're... Faction that they're releasing. Faction. I say fraction because if you see their images, it's like him divided up into 3s.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and it's showing the different styles of the game. That's why it seems so redonkulous when you see a plasma pistol and then he pulls out a freaking claymore sword and then he jetpacks up in the air and then does a fire blast. And you're like, what's going on? It's the ELEX. The ELEX is apparently when you consume it, it gives you the level up abilities. And
it's like Phazon from Metroid.
Yeah, sure.
No, I don't think it is.
Okay, I never played Metroid,
I'm just
so
trying to
go with that. I would go with that because I never played it. But the consequences of consuming this ELEX is you slowly lose emotions and basically become numb. So I don't know what's so controversial about that. I mean, you get powers, but become non.
When you're saying controversial, did people get pissed off about that?
No, I mean for the game, as a story,
okay.
Because it's. People are consuming ELEX, but they're losing their humanity, and that's kind of where the story kind of goes.
Oh, okay.
The interesting thing that they kept bringing up. Now, I didn't really think of this until I was like, there are moments where this is important to me. Almost all NPCs are killable. Some
really?
You can't kill, but almost all are killable, and the game responds to you killing certain ones.
Huh.
And the reason I thought that was interesting is because there's some characters that you just want to kill.
So.
And then there's some that.
So this is very Fallout.
There's some that have missions, and I remember back then that you played certain missions, and if you accidentally killed someone or did something out of the mission order, it either failed it for you, mm-hmm. or you just don't get it, or you get the lucky one, and you're like, hey, I need you to collect something, and you so happen to already have it, and you're like, here you go. But they say that the game will respond to you killing.
It
will respond the missions will change and adapt to you killing certain NPCs.
Now, is it possible that there is no mission because they killed everybody that was related to the mission?
Well, I think that's where they say almost all NPCs can be killed.
Almost.
Because they said we can't let you kill them all because then there's no game.
Now, in Fallout, can you kill everybody?
No.
Oh, you can't, right?
No.
Okay.
I mean. Marcy can never be killed.
So they also play with that. Okay.
So that's why
I'm just trying to get a hold of the.
Well, that's why a lot of people reference where it's like you can see.
Cops.
You can see where it's Fallout. You can see where it's Skyrim. You can see where. Well, till recent Mass Effect, I can't really think of another sci-fi game that uses jetpack.
Yeah, not.
But yeah, so that kind of was the information that I could find of this game. Now, there's a lot of interviews that I couldn't figure out because they're all in German, so fuck.
Yeah, that was odd too. So, what I find interesting about this game is that there hasn't been a lot of coverage on it.
All right, I will give a shout out to the guy called that has a channel Last Known Meal.
Mm-hmm.
I found out a lot of good information about this game from him.
Okay.
He's been supporting it. I honestly don't mind this game. It seems like I want it to be a good game because it seems to me when I see it though it seems too big for its own good.
Which is what I guess people have been saying.
And that's what the main complaints is. A lot of people they're concerned when they see so much freedom. It might be too much freedom.
See, I never understood this concept because like too much game, that is a concern for you. I mean, I guess if you won't, I guess your options would be, do I pick it or do I pick it up or do I pick something else?
Yeah.
I mean,
there's games I never touch because of that reason.
Mm-hmm.
I never touch any Warcraft game or most of other Blizzard games because I know I love them. But I can't.
But you wouldn't be your complaint. That would be your decision.
That would be my decision.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think it's interesting that people are complaining. So it looks to me like a lot of people want this game to be a game for them.
They want everyone wants this to be a good game, but
if it's too long, which 80 hours doesn't sound like too much for me in terms of an RPG style game.
For me, I feel like big games like that, because I saw that they were PC, and you know what, PC that would work. PC, this game would totally rock on just PC.
Mm-hmm.
But when I saw it's on Xbox and PlayStation, that's where I was.
Now, why do you say that?
Because PC can handle huge games like this.
Mm-hmm.
PC style, I'm not trying to, put my finger up their ass and support them, but PC can handle a huge game with the frame rate, with the graphics, the way this looks, with the update that's gonna update the animation, it's gonna update the effects, and you can go beyond that. It's totally built for that. But when I see that they're gonna transfer that to a console,
so you think there's gonna be a downgrade?
There's gonna either a downgrade or there's gonna be somewhere something's gonna be broken.
Yeah.
And it's just gonna be those you have to wait till it's fully fixed, and I don't want them to try to fix a console thing that's not broken on PC.
Actually,
that is an issue when it comes to both supporting.
A lot of times things end up being okay on console. It's on PC that they're broken.
Yeah, but this is the one occasion that I think it would be opposite effect because of the size of the game.
Yeah.
There's just.
How big is it?
I didn't see the data.
Oh,
actually.
okay.
But I'm talking about for what they're talking about that you can do.
Yeah.
It seems like quite a bit.
Yeah, and I mean, again, 80 hours doesn't seem like a lot to me in terms of like an RPG style game, but
I heard bad things about the dialogue too.
Huh?
I heard bad things about the dialogue too.
Like they were just kind of like campy bad or.
I've been watching a lot of the videos, and I'm not the only one that complains. But people are complaining and saying that they kind of worry about the dialogue too, and it recommended a related a game to me on my Steam, and it was Technomancer. And it just triggered all my Technomancer dialogue issues, and I didn't think that was an issue for me, but it is. It will stop me from playing a game if the dialogue's just...
If the voice is just not...
If it's just not there passionately.
It just feels fake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Technomancer, man, I told you about that. I told you.
I wanted that to be a good game too.
Yeah.
But the thing is, like, sometimes either I like to say this is a great game but it's just misplaced in time.
Yeah.
If this was a thing, they're like, oh, we're doing this, and they're like, oh, we're gonna release Fallout New Vegas. I felt like this would have gave Fallout a run for their money. But now it's like there's games out there that are at a higher quality it's just now become an expectation.
Yeah. So I was kind of I want to respond to kind of like what we went about. I'm not gonna go back to the other stuff. I'm not even gonna say it.
No, it's there.
Okay, it's already there. We talked about that. But I do want to say I did see. I was looking at other videos and trying to find other stuff. And you're right. There's a lot of, for some reason, this game has garnered a lot of concern. Because people do tend. I mean, it looks, like I said, it looks really pretty. Like I said before. And the game looks like it could be possibly fun, and it has a lot of elements from a lot of the games that we all love, So it's an interesting game for sure. But I don't think some of the complaints that I was reading about for the game, I don't think they're warranted. I think this is just a game, and if it's for you, it's for you. If it's not, it's not for you. You know what I mean? I don't see much other criticism. I mean, there's not much like to criticize
Besides
right
people,
now.
going beyond that, it's people being a little bit too nitpicky.
Well,
like
yeah,
they start comparing it to other like AAA games. Like, oh yeah, calm down, buddy. Like,
yeah, and you can't do that. I mean, there's this game seems to be on its own level. And even yes, it does borrow elements from other games, but
it's on its own level and its own fan base.
Right.
Like, respect to you guys that are gonna play it. I hope to see some cool stuff. I want to see this come out on top, like the underdog that no one saw coming. That'd be awesome.
So that's our update for that game.
So we're done with ELEX.
Yeah, I mean, and again, I want to reiterate, I really didn't have much wrong with it. That was the only thing, and I actually thought the game looked surprisingly interesting. Whereas I have a hard time, like, why am I not moving? So I have a hard time, like, honestly, we'll put something a little more interesting here for you guys.
Yeah.
After this moment. But I just have a hard time really, like, when I see new games and stuff like that I'm not like what's the word here, like I'm not familiar with.
Mm-hmm.
I tend to kind of like be really skeptical, because I'm not sure. I see things that I like and I see things that I don't know if I'm gonna like. So really, I mean, the trailer is just gameplay trailers and all that. They're not.
I mean, they showed gameplay footage, so that's what I asked for, and thanks. Like, now I could have actually
look at it and see.
It gave me more. If I would have saw a cinematic trailer of this, I would have been exactly like that. Like, let me see some footage, and then see the footage. I would have had to compare the cinematic footage to the game, and then I would have been discouraged.
Yeah.
But because I saw the gameplay as the trailer, I was like, well, this is cool. This is how far they are. All right, cool. So. That's all I really had. We also have another game that we want to talk about.
Yeah, we'll Call of Duty.
Call of Duty's got the new zombies. All I gotta really say about the zombies is it's got the horror in. One of my favorite actor, Dave Tennant's in it, so I'm gonna be the British lad or the Scottish lad. I don't know which one he's gonna play as. And I kind of want to play it, but I'm not gonna be rushing into it, so I wait for Mecha to play it, and then I'll see if we want to do.
Yeah, because they're gonna be.
I want to do something with it because it could be finished.
Yeah, they're gonna be releasing a beta. Now, was that exclusive for the zombies or was it for multiplayer?
Multiplayer.
No zombies.
No zombies.
Okay, so that's a bummer. Honestly, I saw the zombie trailer, and the trailer, didn't do much for me. I've played zombies for many years, so I know what zombies is.
I know it. You know what you're signing up for.
Yeah, I know what zombies is. What was more interesting to me was some of the details that kind of came out that were, kind of preliminary. There's not much going on right now because it just came out. But apparently, they're really going. So they touched on the details from the past games where, like, they knew that the games were silly. Some of them were 80s. Some of them were tried.
Their latest one was about
some of them.
Of Call of Duty.
Some of them were tried to be put into a modern setting, and like people were kind of seemed like they were kind of fed up with that style. And some people may like it. Some people, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with it. Yeah. It's just like I know it wasn't for me at all.
Same.
But going back to this World War II Nazis, I think. Holy crap! I think that. From the trailer itself, I like the idea that it looked, and maybe you didn't catch on to this because you didn't play a lot of Dead Space, but it looked very Dead Spacey to me. If you switch out necromorphs for all the zombies,
yeah,
and you switch out the main bad guy, like the big guy that follows you in Dead Space,
yeah,
with that guy,
yeah,
with the big guy that you saw at the end, it's Dead Space.
Yeah, well, the cool thing is like. Everyone knew that it was these guys helping with the team.
Well, no, they're not helping. This is their studio.
Oh, it's their studio.
This is their studio.
That was known. It's nice to see, like, this is the official footage because everything prior to this hasn't been like official. So if you've seen stuff, it was leaked or it was like early release footage. But after seeing this, like immediately, I'm like, I feel the Dead Space vibe right away. And
it
I
definitely
almost
has a darker
I
tone.
couldn't recall, but I swear I saw that I thought they were talking about a third person for the game for zombie mode. If you guys know, please let us know.
I didn't honestly.
If there is, that would make me play.
Yeah, but okay, well that would be new for Call of Duty.
I'm just saying.
That'd be
Everything's
really
new in this one.
But I mean, I'll say this: the zombies. It looks like, I mean, they can say all kinds of stuff. I think the main takeaway from this is that it's going to be darker. It's not going to be as silly. They're bringing in voice actors that are lending their voice that are not known for, like, you know, like before they had like David Hasselhoff and like, well, what are they doing? They're just there, you know?
Yeah.
They're there to lend their voice.
They're
and
there
have a
for
good
their
time.
image.
Yeah, now they're bringing other actors that may be more relevant to the horror genre.
Yeah.
Or even the sci-fi genre. You know, and the story with the Nazi zombies is basically that they go into get some art pieces.
Yeah.
And then eventually they go to find out, and they find out it's a human laboratory. They're doing tests, running tests on this guy, maniac. He's like, I'm calling him maniac, but you know, he's just.
I call him the professor.
Yeah, he's just like a crazy professor that's like, you know, working on experiments and stuff. And that's when the zombies kind of get loose, and you start to fight, and you have to like survive this whole situation. And it looks like he's gonna play with you. Like you know what this guy reminds me of? He reminds me of the guy from and I can't think of his name, but he's the main like normal character in Dead Space that is the bad guy that he worships the necromorph, like they're some sort of they're not God, but they like this is the higher calling. Like you die as a necromorph and you move on to a different realm, a different a different plane of existence. And that guy, he's always setting traps for you. Like he's always making you get into like situations where you're seeing somebody die, somebody that you care about, or somebody that you know that may be part of the, just to freak you out. He's like, you don't know him, but he's just killing him, and he's always talking. The professor kind of gave me that kind of vibe.
Yeah.
You know, where he's gonna be like all over the place, kind of watching you and like kind of pushing the zombie thing forward, giving you some sort of narrative.
Well, I stopped after the moon, when you went to the moon.
Yeah, me too.
And that was at that point they were like tampering with the idea of zombie bosses, and at that point they made the astronaut. Except he was a total douchebag.
He was wicked annoying.
He was beyond annoying.
So I hope that this.
But that's kind of what I was getting at. Like I don't know about this guy. I mean, they've been doing it since, so I assume they've kind of tweaked the zombie boss a lot.
No, that wasn't Sledgehammer.
Fuck, you're right.
Yeah, I just want to make sure you're aware of that.
I forget there's 3 companies now.
So that was Treyarch. So
it's because I keep referring to World at War.
Yeah, no, that was Treyarch. So I don't think that that they'll be bringing Treyarch style.
Did do the aliens, right?
No, that was Infinity Ward.
God.
So
they did Halo 4.
Ooh, dude, don't even start. Halo 4. Get out of here. So their style. So I'll give you a bit of an excerpt because from the game from Dead Space again, where you meet this enemy that regenerates. He doesn't die, and like if you
like the thing.
Yeah, so he doesn't die, but you shoot his limbs off, and he kind of goes on the ground.
Incapacitate him.
Yeah, you can incapacitate him, and then he regenerates and he comes back, and he walks really fast. So that's what I'm thinking they're gonna go for.
That would be pretty cool.
Cause he goes through. So in the game, he goes through vents. Like if you.
He's just constantly taunting you.
Yeah, he's constantly like coming out, dropping out from vents, and just following you
like
while
the
you're trying to
Nemesis system and.
Yes, like Nemesis and from freaking Resident Evil. That is probably the freakiest part of the game when I first played it. I hated that part. As a matter of fact, I still dread it to this day, and I played the game almost like 6 times through.
Yeah.
So
well, I guess
I still dread it, man.
Sledgehammer I mean, I'm pretty impressed. For a Call of Duty ex-veteran, I like this one because World at War, you just triggered it there, and then the zombies, the respect for zombies, because I didn't mind feeling godlike in the zombies, or it was funny that it helped me play, like want to play, but for me, it never really got my true grasp of like I want to go play this game. It was my true attention. It was just like, I would probably play it because it looks funny. But seeing this, I'm like, this looks terrifying. Almost in a situation where like this would be a horrible zombie situation, but I have to experience this because it's one of those.
Yeah.
I personally feel like this is gonna trigger some sort of trend again.
Yeah, I mean,
the zombie trend's gonna come back a little.
I think horror. It should be horror. It should have always been terrifying. It should have always been like this thing where you know there's something evil about this whole like scenario and this whole what you're in and zombies, and you're just trying to survive, man. Like, that's what the original Nazi zombies was. Like you didn't know what was happening.
Yeah.
You just knew that zombies came up, and here you are trying to survive in this. Yeah. So it's kind of I'm excited to see this pan out and not be silly and not be gags and not be colors, because that was never zombies to me. I don't know where that came from.
I don't either.
I'm not really sure where the
it just started off as like a joke and then it just went too far.
But why though? Like, that was always my question.
I mean, it got to the point where your exit animation was dabbing, so
yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, you know what? I really enjoyed it. I'll say this: Black Ops 1, Black Ops 2, favorite zombie modes, and obviously World of War.
Yeah. World of War for me, Black Ops 1, that's it.
And they were alright. There's a lot of good things about the new zombies, but I'm really excited about the old zombies. That were good and they were funny and everything, but I think I am ready for some real horror.
Yeah. Some
real shit.
This is the year for horror. Brace yourself, cause shit's about to get real.
Announcer.
And you know what? That's all we gotta really say about Call of Duty. Our last one, Destiny 2. Mecha, I'll let you say it.
Well, we're gonna do a bit of a Destiny only, with everything releasing, with the beta and all the details, and we'll have some extended, we'll have some footage of the gameplay. We'll have all kinds of little goodies in there for you, and we'll also just talk extensively about the game and the details and what are some of the changes that I've noticed as a 3-year Destiny player, and some of the changes that Dino, if he because he'll be playing it too, that he noticed
as a bitter 1-year Destiny player.
and we'll just go ahead and talk about it, what we like, what we don't like, what we see that is new, what we see that is new that maybe shouldn't have been new, shouldn't have been changed. Just kind of go through it and also, talk a little in depth about what the beta delivered
and we will release that later today. Okay. That's not going to be in this episode. I'm sorry, not really.
Is it going to be later today?
It's going to be later today.
That's great.
Cray. It's great, man.
All right.
Other than that, you know what to do, guys. Like, subscribe.
If you hear what you like what you hear, boom. Hit that little Liberty Bell button.
And, fuck off, mate.
Jeez. Aye.